Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into something pretty interesting. We've got a whole bunch of articles about how to break the rules when it comes to financial design. Building financial products that people actually enjoy using. I know it sounds a little crazy at first.
It does kind of go against what we think of when we think about finance
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. Like finance, it's
Yeah.
all about security and stability, right?
Yeah.
Not exactly known for being fun and exciting.
Yeah. But maybe that's what's been holding us back, you know? Maybe all those old school assumptions about how things should be done are actually preventing us from creating some really cool stuff.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
hmm
So where do we even begin with this whole breaking the rules thing?
Well, the main article we're looking at today is from UXDA.
UXDA.
Yeah, they're a design agency, work specifically with financial companies, and they're basically saying that if we want to create truly amazing user experiences in finance, well, we need to challenge those old assumptions.
Okay, so what kind of assumptions are we talking about?
Well, they actually list out 7 rules that they think we should be breaking.
7 rules.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to break some rules. What's the first one?
The first one is the grass is always greener.
Usually that's about being content with what you have, right?
Right. But in this case, they're saying that looking at what other industries are doing well can be a huge source of inspiration. It's like, what if we could take those ideas and adapt them to finance?
Give me an example. How do you even do that?
Think about Venmo.
Venmo?
Yeah, they basically took a page from social media to make splitting bills fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like instead of just sending money to a friend, you're kind of publicly acknowledging the payment. And it adds this layer of, I don't know, validation or something.
Exactly. It taps into that human need for connection, recognition, and suddenly paying your friend back for pizza feels good.
So it's not just about copying features. It's about understanding the why behind those features and then seeing how those same principles could apply to financial products.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Okay. What's the next rule we're breaking?
All right, rule number 2 is a classic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that seems pretty logical. If something is working, why mess with it?
Well, UXDA says that in the world of UX design, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is a recipe for disaster. The best products are constantly evolving based on user feedback and new tech.
So in this case, breaking the rule means never settling for good enough. It's about constantly pushing for innovation and improvement.
Imagine if Steve Jobs had said, hey, flip phones are fine, let's not bother with smartphones.
Okay, that's a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
We would be missing out on so much.
Right, and in the financial world, we're seeing this rule being broken all the time. Like, look at Klarna.
Klarna.
Yeah, they basically took the old model of credit scoring and flipped it on its head with their buy now, pay later model.
So how does Klarna's approach to credit scoring work? I'm not familiar with that.
Instead of just looking at your past credit history, they're analyzing your real-time spending behavior, bank account activity, all that, to make a decision. It's much more dynamic and flexible.
So they're breaking the rule by saying, hey, there's a better way to assess creditworthiness, even if it means challenging the traditional system.
Exactly. Now, this next rule is a big one. Never mix business with pleasure. And let's be honest, finance doesn't exactly scream fun and exciting, does it?
Yeah, it's usually more like, ugh, I have to pay my bills, not, woohoo, time to manage my finances.
Exactly. But that's exactly what the most successful fintech companies are changing. They're finding ways to inject joy, personality, even a bit of humor into their products and services.
So it's about recognizing that even though finance is serious business, it doesn't have to be a total drag to use.
And the article actually quotes Richard Branson, who said, fun is one of the most important and underrated ingredients in any successful venture.
All right, I am loving this. Bring on the confetti and the emojis, even if we're talking about spreadsheets and interest rates. But how do you actually inject fun into something like a budgeting app?
That's where the real design challenge comes in. It's about thinking outside the box, using visuals, gamification, maybe even a bit of storytelling to make the whole experience more engaging,
Okay, on to rule number 4. Stay in your lane. I can definitely see how that would be important in some contexts.
Yeah, focus is important, but staying in your lane can also limit your perspective. The most exciting innovations often happen when you bring together ideas from completely different fields. It's like cross-pollination for creativity.
That actually reminds me of Elon Musk. Like, he didn't just stop at electric cars. He went on to revolutionize space travel.
Exactly. He didn't let the traditional boundaries of the auto industry define his vision. And you know what? We're actually seeing this same kind of cross-pollination happening in the financial world, too. Look at Apple.
Yeah, Apple, what do you mean?
Well, they started as a tech company, right? But they've become a major player in the financial world with Apple Pay and all that. Oh, wow, you're right. They saw an opportunity to leverage their technology and design expertise to create a better financial experience. That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. It's a great example of how breaking the rules can lead to unexpected and innovative solutions.
Okay, I am hooked. Breaking these rules sounds like a blast, but I'm also thinking, how do you actually do this? Like, it can't just be about throwing out the rule book and hoping for the best, right?
You're right. It's not about chaos. It's about intentional rule breaking. UXDA actually lays out like a 5-step process
Hmm.
for how to create truly innovative financial products and services.
A 5-step process. All right, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So first, you got to identify a real need or opportunity in the market. It's not just about coming up with a cool idea. It's about actually solving a problem for users.
So it all starts with understanding your audience, right? Like, what are their pain points? What do they wish existed? All that.
Exactly. This is where good old-fashioned market research comes in. You need to get out there, talk to people, understand their needs and frustrations. And once you've identified that need, then what?
Then it's time to develop a concept for the product. This is where the brainstorming, prototyping, testing, all that comes in.
So you're basically creating and refining your ideas based on user feedback, right?
You got it. You don't want to build something amazing only to find out nobody wants it.
Right. So feedback early and often. Got it. Okay, so let's say you have a solid concept that people actually want. What's the next step?
It's time to create a digital strategy, an execution plan. You know, how are you going to actually bring this product to market?
Oh, so thinking about things like marketing, distribution, customer support, all that.
Exactly. It's about having a roadmap for success.
Okay, roadmap. Check. What else?
This is a big one, especially in finance. You've got to obtain any necessary approvals, licenses, all that fun stuff.
Definitely don't want to launch a product only to have it shut down by regulators. Not the kind of rule breaking we're going for.
Nope. Okay, so you've got your concept, your strategy, your regulatory ducks are all in a row. What's next?
Time to launch.
Launch time. This is where you put your product out in the world, see how people react.
But the work doesn't stop there, right? What happens after the big launch?
You've got to keep gathering feedback, analyzing the data,
Yeah.
iterating on the product, making sure it stays relevant, competitive, and most importantly, user-friendly.
Continuous improvement. Got it. This all makes sense, but I'm also wondering, like, what are some of the biggest challenges companies face when trying to create innovative financial products?
Yeah.
There's got to be some roadblocks along the way, right?
Oh, definitely. UXDA actually highlights a few. First off, regulatory challenges. The financial industry is heavily regulated.
Yeah, I bet that can be a huge headache.
Oh, for sure. Navigating all those regulations can be a nightmare. But it's super important to get it right.
Compliance is key.
Okay, what else?
Customer adoption. You can build the coolest product in the world, but if people don't understand it or trust it, it's going to fail.
So it's not just about the tech or the features, it's also about building trust with users, making sure the product is easy to use and understand, all that good stuff. Exactly. User experience is king. And then, of course, there's competition.
Right. The fintech landscape is crazy competitive these days. It feels like there's an app for everything.
It is. And it's constantly evolving with new players emerging all the time. So it's really about offering a unique value proposition, solving a problem that no one else is.
And creating a brand that people connect with.
Yeah,
Not just on a functional level, but on an emotional level too, right?
absolutely. And let's not forget about the cost. Developing and launching a new product, especially in finance, can be really expensive.
You're not building the next Venmo on a shoestring budget, that's for sure.
Nope. And there's always the risk that the product won't succeed. So it's about being strategic, doing your research and testing your assumptions, and being prepared to pivot if you need to.
So being smart, but also brave. I like it. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. The technological challenges. Finance is increasingly reliant on tech, and keeping up with all the latest advancements can be super daunting.
It feels like there's a new buzzword every week. Blockchain.ai. Machine learning.
It is a lot, and it's not just about the tech itself. It's about finding the right talent, building the right infrastructure, all that.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot to think about. It does feel like the financial landscape is undergoing a major transformation, though. And the companies that embrace these innovations, these rule-breaking design principles, they're the ones who are going to thrive.
You got it. And speaking of transformation, UXDA also highlights some key trends that are shaping the future of finance. They call them the 5 horsemen of digital banking.
5 horsemen. Okay, that sounds a little intense, but I'm intrigued. Let's break them down. What's the first horseman?
The first one is humanization. Even though we're living in an increasingly digital world, people still crave that human connection, authenticity.
So it's about putting the human back in human-computer interaction, which makes sense. I mean, we're social creatures even when we're dealing with our finances.
Exactly. And then there's personalization. This is all about tailoring products and services to the individual needs of each user.
So this is where all that data and AI comes in, right? Creating experiences that feel customized to each person.
Like having a personal financial assistant in your pocket.
Okay, that's powerful. All right, what about the metaverse? I'm still not quite sure what that even means in a financial context.
The metaverse is all about creating these immersive digital experiences, right? So what if we could create virtual worlds where you could manage your finances, invest in new opportunities, even interact with other users in a fun and engaging way?
So instead of just staring at a spreadsheet, you could actually experience your finances in a whole new way.
Imagine visiting virtual bank branches, attending financial education workshops, even exploring investment opportunities in a 3D world.
All right, now we're getting to some sci-fi territory. But it's definitely interesting to think about. All right, what about embedded finance?
Embedded finance is all about integrating financial services into non-financial products. It's about making finance seamless and invisible.
So instead of having to go to a separate banking app, you could manage your finances directly within other apps you already use.
Exactly. Like imagine being able to buy now, pay later directly within your favorite online store or manage your investments through your social media app. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Wow. It's all about convenience and accessibility. Okay, so we've got humanization, personalization, the metaverse, and embedded finance. What's the last horseman?
Decentralized finance, or DeFi?
DeFi. Okay. Remind me what that's all about again.
DeFi is all about creating a more open, transparent, accessible financial system. It's powered by blockchain tech, which allows for peer-to-peer transactions without the need for banks.
So giving people more control over their own finances, cutting out the middleman.
DeFi is definitely shaking things up in the financial world, and it has huge potential to democratize finance and empower individuals.
Wow. This is a lot to take in. We've covered so much ground today. Breaking design rules, building innovative products, the challenges, those 5 horsemen of digital banking. My brain is officially full.
Okay, deep breath.
We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into rule-breaking financial design. So much to think about. We talked about breaking those design rules and the whole process of building innovative financial products, and of course, those 5 horsemen of digital banking.
Right. And now it's like, okay, what happens when you put it all together? What happens when those trends like humanization, personalization, the metaverse, embedded finance, DeFi, what happens when all of those collide with this idea of intentionally breaking the rules? It's kind of exciting to think about.
It is. Like, what kind of world-changing innovations could come from that?
Well, think about this. What if you could combine the personalization power of AI with the human touch?
Okay, go on.
Imagine a financial product that not only learns your habits and preferences, but also anticipates your needs, adapts its features based on what you're doing.
Whoa, that's like next-level personalization. It's like having a financial advisor that's always with you and knows you better than you know yourself.
Exactly. It's about creating a truly personalized and supportive financial experience, one that really feels like it's designed just for you.
I love it. Okay, now what about the metaverse? I'm still trying to picture what that actually looks like in a financial world.
Well, the metaverse is all about creating immersive experiences, right? So what if you could have virtual worlds where you could actually manage your finances? Like actually invest in new opportunities, even interact with other users in a way that's actually fun.
So instead of just staring at a boring old spreadsheet, you could actually experience your finances in this whole other dimension.
Think about it. You could visit virtual bank branches, attend financial education workshops, even explore investment opportunities in a 3D world. I mean, it would completely change how we think about money and how we interact with it.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty wild. All right, so we've got the whole personalization thing, the metaverse. What about embedded finance? How does that get even more, well, embedded in our lives?
Well, imagine if financial services were so seamlessly integrated into our digital lives that we didn't even notice them. What if, every time you bought something online, a tiny little bit of that purchase automatically went into an investment? Based on your preferences, of course.
Whoa, that's like investing without even thinking about it. You'd be building wealth over time just by living your life.
Exactly. It's about making finance so frictionless, so intuitive that it just becomes a natural part of our everyday lives.
I like it. Okay, so personalization, Immersive experiences in visible finance. What about DeFi? How does that fit into all of this?
Well, DeFi is all about decentralization and transparency, right? So what if we could combine that with these other trends? Create a system that's not just efficient, but also equitable, more accessible for everyone.
So it's not just about making things easier and more fun for the people who already have access. It's about leveling the playing field.
Exactly. It's about empowering people who might not have had the same opportunities in the past, giving them the tools and the access to build a better financial future.
This has been so eye-opening. It feels like we're on the cusp of something huge, like a whole new era for finance, one where tech and design come together to create a more human-centered, personalized, and inclusive experience for everyone.
And the coolest part is that you don't need to be a designer or a tech expert or even a finance guru to be a part of it.
So what can our listeners do to get involved in this financial revolution?
Just pay attention, be open to new ideas, and don't be afraid to ask questions like, what problems do you wish someone would solve? What would make your financial life better, easier, more fun?
Because you never know. The next big idea that totally changes the game, it might come from someone like you, someone who's not afraid to challenge the status quo.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep breaking those rules. And if you have any aha moments along the way, we'd love to hear about them. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.